Oh, sorry. I didn't see you guys there. I just got a little caught up pondering the orb. Anyways, welcome everybody to Covens and Cauldrons. This is a show brought to you by Casters and Castles. It's a brand new D&D campaign. I am, of course, Pyrotechnics. I will be the DM, the GM, whatever you prefer term-wise for the evening. And we'll go ahead and go around the table and introduce everybody as we get ourselves underway. Let's go ahead and start with Boop. It's very Christmassy where he is. How are you doing today, Boop?
I'm doing great. How about yourself?
I'm good. It's definitely not way too hot at all, and I'm going to have to take off my my wizard hood to top things as well. Are you excited to get into this?
Oh, of course. I'm excited to play with you and all my new friends and some of my old and new casting partners and old and new friends and hopefully some future imaginary friends too. In game.
Ooh,
Maybe one or two.
You kind of covered everything. Well, I guess we'll keep on moving down the line. Introducing, of course, Kenobi as well. Kenobi, I'm glad we've got you here as a player because normally you're the GM on that side of things.
I'm the forever DM, and now I finally get to be a player. So I don't know what it's going to be like to be on this side of the table, but I am very excited to be here with a great group, like Boop said.
I got some fun things planned for y'all. Let's keep on going down. We will introduce Khroen up next as well. How's it going, man?
It's going good. You know, Ith Academy wasn't enough D&D for me, so I had to come back on for another Casters and Castles show. So happy to be here with a new group. Sure, be a lot of fun.
Yeah, some of the stuff you guys have done may necessarily affect what happens here as well. We'll keep on moving. Let's talk to SpaceGhost. Kari, what's up?
Not much. Just this haphazard makeup. I'm supposed to be a rabbit, so we're just gonna use these two beef sticks that I have for, you know.
A plus cosplay.
Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Where's our inspiration, by the way?
You're gonna get it. Hey, hold on! Don't get ahead of yourselves. We got one more person to introduce. It's gonna be Ehloanna. Welcome to the show as well.
Hello. Super excited to be here. Got home from work, ready to play some D&D. I'm usually the forever DM, so I'm excited to play.
Yeah, it's gonna be excellent. So, as I've already said, this is a brand new game that is going to be set in the world of Anacra, the one that all of the Casters and Castles games take place in. This will be happening more or less concurrently with the events of the quest for the Book of Dawn. For those of you that have any questions, of course, I think Gnomes will always be in the chat to be able to answer. Will be our resident lore master throughout the course of the campaign. But without any further ado, I think it's about time that we go ahead and get ourselves started. Our story begins in the...
Oh.
Dad.
Dad turned into a chipmunk.
Dad.
Unplug and continue.
Is it back?
Yeah, it's back.
Well, so
okay.
Also we have some issues with some audio stuff, so please bear with us.
All we heard was our story begins,
and that's all you'll get. No, I'm gonna as ever. We have a nice contingency plan in place if something goes wrong. Well, let's try a take two, everybody, to introduce. Our story begins in Anacra, a world divided into 4 distinct kingdoms, each as different and alien to each other as can be. They are the Sky Kingdom, ruled by Vindir, sovereign of the sky, and home to giants, birdfolk, ice dwarves, and others. The Underworld, where the dead dwell alongside dread infernals in myriad domains. Chiefly of these, the Kingdom of Shadows, ruled by Remius, Stern Lord of the Dead. There is also the Otherworld, where dwell fairies, spirits, goblins, magic and enchantment. A realm of equal parts wonder and peril, ruled by no one entity, but influenced by the emotions of all. And finally, there is the mortal realm, home of common people, matter and earth. This pale blue dot is made up of 4 continents, all separated by a vast ocean. A favorite rhyme of the mortals tells the natures of the 4 kingdoms. Learn the lore of Kingdoms 4, the sky world far above, the fairyland close at hand, the realm of home we know and love, the realm below where all souls go when life comes to an end. Know the roads to each abode, their signs and their portents. Now on the mortal realm of Giru, there exists a region known as the Northern Kingdoms. one that is torn by war and political conflict. 8 years prior, the Kingdom of Galadron experienced a violent schism when the last heir to the throne passed away, throwing the region into utter chaos. From this arose the nations of Old Galadron, Vercinget, and Lyteri, each vying for supremacy over the territory. In the present day, a court mage of Galadron summons 4 heroes to his aid to search for a mystic artifact that he hopes will help to end the war. Meanwhile, a legendary sorcerer frees a monstrous dragon from bondage in order to save his family. That dragon, a Shardalon, establishes a lair in the Northern Kingdoms and begins to gather an army with which to lay waste to the land. And in the midst of all of this strife, there exists a peaceful, rolling green valley with gentle slopes surrounded by forests and hills, and home and refuge to all manner of mortals. It is called Otis Vale, and it is protected by dawn magic against the depredations of the dragon, or worse. The year is 7,334, 7 years since the wars began, and the magic protecting Otis Vale holds. Inside the valley, excitement is stirring. The traveling extravaganza known as the Witchlight Carnival is on the move. There are tales told around hearths and campfires of the wondrous sights, sounds, and unforgettable experiences to be had at this mystical fair. It has been 8 long years since the carnival last touched down in Otis Vale, and today is finally the day it makes its return. And let us begin, actually, at the carnival as it's traveling along. Because while this place tends to move across vast, timeless, and formless spaces, and the magic enabling it to do so beyond the reckoning of most, and almost all, let's be honest, a few of you that find yourself employed at the carnival are sitting down to a nice meal with family and talking about your next location. Curly, Kaza, would you like to describe your characters, please?
Want me to go, or you want to go first? Okay. Kaza is a very tall, like about 7'4" Goliath, who has like these kind of purple tattoos that cover his body, with this like light purplish skin. He has some like knitting across his chest that's like made, it looks like it's made out of Yeti fur, and he kind of looks like he should be cold, but he's not really wherever he is. He seems to be fine in no matter what type of weather, and he's probably drinking.
All right. I love the description so far. Curly?
Muted.
Muted.
For us.
Yeah, you're muted.
I think you might be
friends.
muted. Oh, we're back.
Yeah.
Dad?
So, Dad?
No, mom?
Rabbit
You're
Dad?
muted?
Curly is a Haringan. So we are a race of rabbits. And I am on the smaller side, about 3.5 feet tall, and just a mess of curly white and brown hair just sits on top of her head. And then you've got 2 long tan ears and a little spot over her right eye. Left eye, sorry. I've struggled with the lefts and the rights. But she generally can be found sitting on top of somebody's head, their shoulders, in a bag, on a hat, generally at least up in somebody's business.
And you two are seated around a table in a small caravan, and you're seated with both of y'all's father figure, effectively, at least maybe more literally for some of you, who is neither a Harengon nor a Goliath, but is in fact a large bugbear dressed in overalls and just sitting down using sort of an oversized paw to eat soup out of a little spoon. This is Burley, the person who's raised you, Curly, one of them anyways, and Kaza, your guardian for the past 8 years. Burley pauses kind of mid-spoonful and looks at both of you. So, it's been a little while. Kaza, are you ready to go back to your original home?
Kaza kind of like looks over and tilts his head. He thinks for a moment, and he says, well, I am not sure that the home that I had before is the same home that I have now. The home that I am in now, I believe, is here in the Carnival with all of you.
I'm glad.
Ah,
I was a little worried you may want to leave. We're quite fond of you, you know.
the emotional capacity of this table is extremely interesting to me. I do not think that we're communicating properly here. First of all, your home is here with me, little brother. This is where you live, okay? You live at this table at this carnival. Your old home, boring. Don't even think about it. Don't even talk about it, okay? Your home is here with me, and that's it. That's all there is to it. Don't be nervous. It's okay. You'll always have a home here.
Well,
I thank you very much. I do not know how we still have this little brother, big brother. I pretty sure I am much, much bigger.
well, Curly is older by a year. So technically...
Yep, older by a year. Beat you to it.
Yeah.
But she's right. You do always have a home here. It's just I didn't want to assume that you always wanted to stay if there was maybe something waiting for you back in Anacra.
Aw, Dad, Burley. You're such a thinker. You always think about what you're saying instead of just thinking with your heart. I think that's probably the better option.
The brain is a muscle. You have to exercise it, Curly.
I don't know about
The brain
that.
is not muscle. Only muscle are right here. Only muscle on body.
Yeah, the only
brain
muscle is
is
right
not a
here.
muscle.
Did you even read the book I got you last solstice?
Me? Absolutely
No,
not.
no, I did not expect that, Curly. I meant Kaza.
I don't read too much. Mostly, reading is for people who don't know how to throw punch.
Kids. All right. Well, look, I know it's maybe been a little bit stressful since... And he pauses for a second, and you can see that he's kind of struggling to get it out. Since Hurley disappeared, it's just been me. I know I'm not as open about my feelings, but I'm trying. And you can always talk to me if something's bothering you, okay? Both of you.
Yeah, I guess. I don't really want to talk about it. It's kind of hard, you know?
He'll come back. It's totally fine. There's no need to worry about anything.
Yeah.
He will eventually come back, and if not, we will go find him somewhere.
I mean, he knows we were going to Odensvale, right? Like, he knows that. So he can find us.
I hope so. For the record, it's been about 3 months since Hurley vanished. And Burley just sort of trails off a little bit and just kind of goes back to eating his soup.
Yeah.
He is fine. Everything usually works out. I mean, I am here because it worked out, and Kaza does not believe in bad luck. Kaza believe only in doing things. And if we need to go to find Hurley, Kaza go find Hurley.
Well, you will be, just as a heads up, posted out front for the start of the day, just to make sure there's no troublemakers trying to get in. And Curly...
Kaza get to punch. Kaza get to punch.
No,
Yes?
not only if they cause trouble. And Curly, no knifing people, okay?
It is
can't-
best combo. The punch knife combo is best combo.
I
You're
am begging
simply
you not to
unbeatable
start
combo.
problems,
Okay, okay.
please.
Listen,
Please.
no fighting, all right? No fighting here.
Unless they
Just
started.
Really quick. Right, unless they started. But
Exactly.
let me just pitch you my new routine, okay? Are you ready for this? Are
Okay.
you ready?
Okay.
All right. So we've got a child, right? About my height. We're looking at we're looking at a human child, right? So about my height. And we put the child in front of a target, right? Okay? Are you with me here? Are you with me?
I don't like where this is going, but sure.
All right. So you put the human child in front of the target, and then you put an apple on the child's head.
Kaza
right?
like this idea. Kaza
Right?
like where this
Right?
going. Yes, yes.
And then you throw the knives at the child, but you don't hit the child.
Okay. So
Now this is a deviation from my previous routines, but I think that this one might be a moneymaker.
I noticed because you replaced a pumpkin with an apple. Yes, but what happens if you miss?
I never miss. First of all,
currently not miss. Yeah, exactly. It's just it's obvious at this point. Currently no miss knife. Kaza no miss punch. It's very simple equation.
I'll talk to WITCHLIGHT and see if we can get you reinstated as a performer. But for today, please just go with your brother and guard
it's only
the front.
one finger. I only hit the one finger. I mean, it's gonna be fine, right? Like he's gonna be fine. It only took the one.
Finger grow back, yes.
Yeah, fingers grow back. He doesn't need it.
We go.
Yes, they.
I don't
That's
see why they had to
exactly
take
how
down
that
my
works.
tent. Yeah.
Well, look, I'll try to put in a good word. Just please don't get into trouble. At least not for the first day. Okay.
Fine. I'll be in Kaza's pocket.
Thank you. We should be getting unpacked in the next couple of hours, so I'll send you on ahead once everything's unloaded. Should be another great day at the carnival.
Okay.
And with that, we are going to transition in another caravan, where currently another one of our party is getting her hair done in preparation for the day. Ninkasi, would you care to describe yourself?
Yes, so as you can see, I have hair that fades from like a dark blue to a light blue. If I were my actual character, my hair would look like it's kind of flowing like it's in water because I am a water Genasi. I also have like a little crown that I wear just as part of my kind of ongoing costume here at the carnival. Right now, I'd just be wearing a casual dress because I'm not currently working. I'm just getting ready to work. But I do have some nice ceremonial robes that I wear when I'm working. And yeah, you can see me with my hairdresser getting my hair done.
Yeah, as she is just like brushing out these long and flowing lengths, your hairdresser, the one that pretty much does it most of the performers at the carnival, Mara, is just kind of chatting away. So, Ninkasi, we are going to... What was the name of your world again? It is the first time in 8 years, yes?
Yes, it's been a while since I've been back home. Anacra is where we're going to.
Yes, Anacra, perfect. So what will you do on your day off?
Well, I'm probably going to go try and see my family. I know that they know I'm coming back. It's, every 8 years that this happens. So I'll probably go see them, see my mom and dad and my aunt, and perhaps a special someone if she's available in more ways than one.
You have alluded to this before.
Yes.
Tell me more about this person. They must be seriously special. You have talked about this so much, but the name, my memory is not what it should be.
Talia is her name. She was a blacksmith. She has beautiful red flowing curls, very cute dimples. She's just really beautiful, and she has my heart. But I haven't seen her in a long time, so I'm not sure if she's still interested in me. But when we last left off, we left on good terms. So I guess we'll see when we get back.
It can be difficult when you are away for such a long time, but I know that if and she kind of just taps your shoulder, if the love is real, then it is going to sustain.
Fingers crossed.
You have one day. Are you close enough to do all of that?
I don't know. When I last left, I told my parents to obviously come to the carnival when it's in town. So I feel like it should be easier if they're coming to me instead of me, going home and spending time with them. Got to get a lot of things in a very short period of time. So we'll see. I'm going to do as much as I can.
Ah, okay. So they are coming to visit, and perhaps then, are are they going to be bringing this Talia with them? Is this something that was already established, or?
It wasn't established. They don't really. Well, I wouldn't say they don't know about her. They know who she is. She's the blacksmith. But I'm not sure if they know how close we were. They wouldn't be against it or anything. They're just. I usually kept them out of that side of my life. They're
Un-
very involved, almost too
Hmm.
involved, I guess you could say.
Oh, parents can be that way, and I think I understand why you might have wanted to run away and join the carnival now. Interesting.
Yeah,
Well,
hover parents and all that.
I wish you the best in all of these things, and of course, well, if things all work out as they do, you can't necessarily officiate your own marriage, but I'm sure you can give them a few
No.
pointers.
Yeah. I have someone in mind if things do progress to that point, but it's obviously difficult with my job and traveling, and
Of
we'll see
course.
how things go.
This is a life on the road, a life traveling to different worlds and seeing all wonders, staying in one place. I cannot imagine it, to be honest. I could not wait to leave my home.
Yeah, I never really had big dreams to go anywhere when I was young. But the carnival just coming back every so often really inspired me to do something more. So, I'm really excited to keep traveling, but we'll see um, what the future holds.
I certainly think we will. And with that, she just kind of like finishes brushing your hair, and we are going to make another transition because we have a few more people to introduce. Why not? Um, we're going to be getting on the road and out in the midst of a forest path. Uh, Wandering along is a lone human. And Leo, would you care to describe yourself?
Yeah, so Leocyn Lynclair is a human, about 5'9", relatively skinny, has wavy but long blonde hair. It is tied very neatly back into a bit of a bun, but there's a little bit that goes in front of his face and kind of droops down over his right eye. Has some gold dangling earrings on and a white cloak that covers most of his body. One side, besides for his left arm, is going to be not covered by this cloak, and instead, out of the cloak, kind of drops down a little bit of very fine, very intricately woven lace that goes about to his elbow, and he has a gold kind of like wrist cuff at the end.
Cutting a very fine figure, walking through the woods. It's a nice, sunny, and honestly warm day, and you find yourself thinking back on your travels of the last few days. Curious, how many days has it been since Leocyn has left home?
Oh boy, how many days has it been? How many days is it to get there? I don't even know. It's this is a journey.
Losing track of time. Very valid. But you do remember, at least last night, you had an unexpected traveling companion as you were trying to get a fire going. A small gnomish woman kind of came up to you and offered to assist. And once you had sat down, she shared a little bit of food with you and started to take out a lute and play, discovering this was also a musician. And I am going to go ahead and get a little picture going for that because
Ooh.
yeah, we've got some NPCs, fam. Absolutely. Let's go ahead and see how well this works. Yeah, a little albino lizard sitting on her lap as well as she just kind of
Aw.
like strums a couple of strings and just so tell me one more time. Your what was your name and what were you up to?
Yes, my name's Leocyn Lynclair, but you can call me Leo. This travel has been, I mean, it's been wonderful. At least the destination will be. And can I say, your musical skills, your talent is just top notch. Can you play some more, please?
Absolutely, and she just strums up a little quick solo. Years and years and, well, maybe a little bit of magical assistance, but a lot of practice. Definitely a lot of practice. Now I see that you, well, if that thing on your back is anything to go by, are also something of a musician. A bard, perhaps?
Perhaps I dabble in a few musical talents. I would say poetry might be really where my heart lies, but
Yeah, okay. So you're one of those really flowery types, telling the tales of what, like, knights and valiant deeds and rescuing damsels, things like that. Is that what you're into?
mm, I would like to say no. I mean, everyone gets their start somewhere, you know. All my old work, it's all rubbish, really. It's really about the destination where we're going, all these super fantastical, extravagant things. Those are the ones, really, that I have my eyes on, like this carnival. You're heading this way. Were you going there?
I was absolutely going to make a stop off. In fact, I hear they have a wonderful, and I do mean wonderful, custard cream eating contest. It is,
Cool.
to be said, absolutely spectacular. But yeah, I'm on my way. I don't know if I'll take the same path as you, to tell you the truth, but I'm sure we'll meet up if the time is right.
If our paths diverge, I'm sure they will meet up again if we do find ourselves both at the carnival. But it has been wonderful to share this fire and your music with you.
Absolutely, and right back at you. And as she plays, the little albino gecko just like grabs a fly out of midair, like that was hovering right above like a stick of meat you were eating. With that flashback in your mind, we are going to cut back to our last player, because I would like Hauld to describe himself, as he is also making his way down a forest road.
I'm skipping down the street and I'm like, I'm gonna be a hero. I hate my mom and dad. I'm gonna be a hero. I hate my mom and dad. And because I needed to leave home because something happened to me. And now I hate my mom and dad. I am a young man on the tail end of puberty, ripe old age of 18, half elf. And I have black hair, green eyes. Think like super, super normal looking, except for the green eyes. And I'm kind of just attacking the world right now, turning over a new leaf, and walking the streets like I, know what I'm doing.
And it wasn't that long ago that you found yourself in a very different situation, as we call back to, honestly, just a couple of days prior. Hauld,
Yes.
you were beaten and bruised, and all that you could keep thinking about was how, man, you were sure you got this. That cave of gnolls was supposed to be so easy to deal with, but they overpowered you, laid you out, stole or broke most of your stuff, and left you for dead on the side of the road. And you were laying there, bloodied, not sure if you were going to survive. And you close your eyes for just a moment, and when you open them, in front of you is a woman. Almost glowing in a way, just long, flowing, golden blonde hair. A dress that seems to ruffle without any breeze. And smiling at you, almost in like a bemused sort of way, as you're on the ground and she's just looking down over you. And you hear a voice that is almost like music if words could contain an entire song in and of themselves. So, tried something a little bit beyond your ability, did you?
I thought I could be a hero. I don't know if that's true anymore, but I still do hate my mom and dad.
Well, knowing your parents, I don't blame you at all. But what if I told you you could still be a hero?
I'm in. I'll do anything to be a hero. I'll do anything to, make my own way.
Well, I may be able to help a little bit with that, and all I ask in return is you do a few things for me when I come to call. I think there's some potential in you. And she pauses for a moment.
It's the first time anyone's ever said that to me.
Well, you just didn't have the right people believing in you. And she boops your nose.
I boop her back.
She just starts giggling. You do have such a beautiful spirit, and and look what they've done to your poor face and your ears. They really tried to pass you off as a human by clipping them, didn't they?
They sure did. I didn't know that that's why they looked like that until just a couple days ago.
I could fix that for you.
I would do anything if I could get my potential culture back.
Well, you'll have to learn about all of that. I couldn't tell you possibly, but I can certainly help you get your start. Do we have a deal then?
We have a deal.
She holds out a hand.
I hold out both hands. I've never made a deal before.
She pulls you up, and you feel like you were just like onto your feet, almost floating. You feel a warmth emanating from the point where she touches you, and it spreads throughout your entire body, and it's like a surge of power, like a little bit of like a crackling little bit of electricity, but it's not painful. It feels warm. And you reach up and touch your ears, and they're longer and pointy. Seems like they've restored to what they would have been had your parents not cut them.
I don't even know why they cut them, but I'm glad they're back, and I can be me.
Now, do you still intend to use that name as you make your way?
I do, for now.
That's your business, I suppose. Anyways, I think I'll be on my way, but I do have one first request for you. I promise not to ask too much, just the first thing I need you to do. I'm looking for someone, and she needs to get back in touch with me. I really want to connect. You know when you miss a connection and it's just so frustrating and you don't know if they're upset with you or they're too busy. You know how it is, right?
I know exactly how that is.
Oh, excellent. Then you totally understand. Anyways, this person, her name is Sibylna, and she can be found in a land called Prismere. I need you to go to Prismere and just to figure out why she hasn't gotten in touch in so very long. You can tell her that... Oh, why not? I'll give you... I forget, you like the aliases, but I'm fine without them. Tell her that Neva sends her regards.
I'll do whatever you say for making me whole again.
Of course. And those abilities are sure to come in handy. You may want to give them a bit of a test drive before you head straight into another cave full of gnolls. Okay?
Sounds good.
All right. Oh, one more thing. The way to Prismere is through a carnival. It's called the WITCHLIGHT Carnival.
Oh.
Do you know it?
I don't. I think the last time something like that, might have happened. I've heard of it in the past through stories, but I may have been a little too young last time.
Yes, it does travel to this world every 8 years, but there's some sort of way to get into Sibylna's realm through it. So, I suppose go enjoy the carnival and find your way in. And I'll be checking in every once in a while, but good luck.
Is that all? Is that all I get?
Maybe we'll talk again later.
Oh my goodness.
And with that, the vision fades out, and you kind of you're back walking on the forest road, remembering that you sort of got this second chance. And I'm going to ask for something. Hauld, could you give me a perception check?
Oh my god. First roll.
Let's go.
First roll.
Okay.
That is a persuasion check, my friend. That is the wrong.
Oh,
That is the wrong.
Oh,
roll.
thank goodness! I
It
can't.
was a nat
I
one.
can't read, guys. Can you believe that? And it was a nat 1.
Oh boy, your perception is
Oh, what
slightly
a
better.
Oh my god!
Wow, and a nat 20.
Wow, we literally went all the way across.
Ooh, what a. The dice really like you
Wow.
tonight. This is excellent.
Jeez.
You
Get them out of the way early, you know.
hear, off in the distance, a slight humming. Sounds like a person's voice. Seems a little bit ahead of you on the road.
What could that be? I like this tune.
You gonna follow it?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay. You make your way forward, and Leo, what are you playing, or what are you humming?
Oh, let's see. Leo would be humming a tune of, oh, what would it be? Probably something holiday related, or something like if there's a festival that happens yearly, annually, some kind of tune of that. Just and just keep on that kind of hum down the path.
Suddenly from behind you, you hear a rustling, and Hauld, you pop right out of the bushes, and the two of you meet face to face.
I go, hello! Sorry to surprise you like this, but I saw a striking individual with a striking voice, and I just had to introduce myself. My name is Hauld.
Oh, you're not a sort of beastie hag, anything trying to kind of get the advantage on me right now, are you?
No, I just am kind of doing my own thing. I'm actually looking for a little thing called a Carnival. Have you heard of something of such?
Why, that is an interesting coincidence. Just so it turns out that I have. I'm heading that way myself. You are Hauld, you said?
My name is Hauld.
Leo, actually just Leo. Leo Lynclair.
All right, Leo, like rare.
Hauld, you can
something like that.
You can make a history check if you'd like.
All right.
16. Lynclair rings a bell. The name Lynclair sounds
that's
like some family you've heard of.
That's interesting. You know, I come from not the worst background, and I feel like I've heard that name before.
You might have. It's not the most uncommon, I suppose. I dare say I admit I'm some sort of nobility.
Oh, that's so interesting. Never mind. We can talk about that later. I'd love to learn more about this hot new beat that you've got going on.
It's nothing new. It's just kind of habit whenever I'm lost in thought. That's just tune sort of repeats itself. I was just thinking about, the world, where we're going. There's so much I've missed out on. This feels almost overwhelming, but I'm trying to keep my nerves in check.
Well, I think we're kind of in the same position. I'm a young, normal-looking dude. You're singing, and I think we can all, benefit, because what's better than one head is two heads, and maybe we can help each other out here, yeah?
They do say that. I've heard that before many a times. You're very smart, very, very sharp. Yeah, traveling in numbers is probably best. I tried to hire a caravan here, but it just last minute cancelled. I don't know what that was about, but I said that's not going to stop me. I'm making my way anyway.
I said the same thing. I said, Mom, Dad, I'm leaving, and then I left.
I can sympathize.
But yeah, this carnival, where are you going to the carnival, if I may ask?
What's not to enjoy about the carnival? There's so much intrigue, so much mystery, so much just stuff that I don't know. I want to learn. I want to figure it all out.
Well, Leo, when we get there, we're going to learn everything we can. But first things first, we're going to learn where the bar is so I can buy you a drink.
That would be Very, very appreciated. Thank you very much. You buy the first. We'll see where it goes from there.
Mm-hmm.
And
I look for the most comfortable place and sit down.
with that, we are going to cut back to the front of the carnival as things have been set up, and people are milling about. Not spectators, not guests, mind you. It is not yet open. The carnival doesn't open until dusk. However, Curly and Kaza, you are making your way towards the front entrance. And Ninkasi, you've gathered up your things for what you assume will be a short trek out to either meet up with your parents, who presumably are coming, or to find Talia, or to, at the very least, send a message to any and all of them. And the three of you bump into each other near the entrance. Ninkasi, do you know Kaza and Curly very well, and vice versa?
I believe Curly occasionally is my bunkmate. She occasionally sleeps, I believe, in my dresser. And Kaza, I know because I know Curly. Definitely see him around the carnival as well. So we definitely have run into each other many, many, many times.
Excellent. Oh, and before I forget, because I haven't mentioned it. As I spoke to all of you in the session 0 that we had that was not streamed, those of you that did set up in cosplay, you all do get inspiration for this session. So please do add that. This will be for the Witchlight hands. But yeah, you all meet up just out in front of the ticket booth, past the old goblin Nicholas Midnight with his little ear horn. As you pass by, and he goes, "Hello, you're going out to enjoy your day off, are you?"
Yeah, of course. While we're in town, might as well.
Make sure you're back before we pack up and leave. As you know, Mr. Witch considers that a resignation notice.
Understood.
You have day off? Since when are we allowed day off? This is new to Kaza.
Well, I wouldn't
Oh, you're
say
muted.
it's like
You're
a...
muted, Car.
Oh, were you gonna say something?
No, Kari's muted. I couldn't.
Were you
Sorry
saying
about
something,
that.
Curly?
We're back.
Yeah, Ninkasi, where are you going?
Well, we're in town. I have family here. I wanted to see them, or at least send, mail to them while we're in the area. Can't really, send.
You gonna go kiss your girlfriend? That's what I'm mostly excited about. I want the tea.
Well, we're not dating.
want the
We're
tea.
not. Well, I haven't seen her in 8 years. I'm gonna see if I can see
Yeah,
her.
Who would want to kiss you? I mean, look at you. You're ridiculous. You're beautiful. Who would want to kiss you? Come on.
I know, but I haven't seen her in
Just a couple
8 years.
smooches. Yeah, well,
So
I
we'll see.
don't know.
We'll see. At least I can send her a letter, tell her I miss her, and all of those things. We'll see.
You're gonna send her a letter? You're not gonna go see her?
If I can't see her, I'm not sure if I'll be able to see her.
What do you mean? Like, we're not gonna get work off?
Well, I don't really know if we have how much time we have off. DM, how much time? do we have to walk
PTO.
away?
You've got the
Unionize.
day.
Taking a sick day.
You've got the day off to do whatever
I
you
have
want.
D&D COVID.
Oh no!
Stay prepped.
Working
for
remotely.
later.
Dear.
Yeah, working remote.
This is
Carnival.
remote session for sure. You have the day off. You've been told.
Okay. All right. Yeah, I have the day off, so I'm just going to do as much as I can on my day off. I obviously don't get many off. I'm usually busy helping people get married and all that happy stuff or whatever. But today is my day, so I'm going to do the most that I can.
Okay. I just want to make sure. You're always taking care of other people's lives.
Yeah,
That you
yes,
did a little
yes.
bit for yourself. You know?
What,
Yeah.
Just a little bit.
what happen if you need marry this? Do you marry yourself, or is other person marrying?
That's a good question.
Yeah, that is a difficult thing. I mean, I marry people like at the carnival, so like I guess if I were to get married outside of that, I'd have to find someone else. I don't really have any
I'll do it.
context for that. Oh,
I'll do it.
I don't know if you legally can, but we can find a way. It's okay.
Legal is touchy subject anyway.
Yeah, little brother knows. Legal's
Yeah,
it's a
yeah.
set of suggestions.
I understand you're not really all about that life. I get it. I get it.
But I respect your denomination, whatever it may be.
Denomination.
You all have been walking while this conversation's happening, and Kaza and Curly, you haven't realized, but you've gone far past the entrance of the carnival where you were meant to stand guard, and no one has stopped you. And all of a sudden, you're still within sight of the carnival. It's maybe a couple 100 feet back, but the three of you realize you're kind of on this like forest path, and you are about to turn back. At least you two are, when you hear a blood-curdling scream from somewhere off into the brush in the west. And I won't destroy anyone's eardrums by attempting to emulate that.
Wilhelm scream.
Hauld and yeah, exactly. It's a very Wilhelm scream. Hauld and Leo, you hear that as well.
It's my day off. I'm not supposed to be here. No.
Oh shit.
What will you do?
I don't want anything to do with that. I don't like strange places. I don't like strange people. I'm not okay with this.
Our job is back in Carnival.
Yeah, that's right. Ninkasi, don't do anything crazy. I can see the crazy in your eyes.
There's no
Don't
crazy
follow
in my
that.
eyes. I don't know what you're talking about. I'm gonna go. I'm going to ignore that scream.
Yeah.
That's not any of my business. I have
know
a
that.
limited amount of time off, so I'm gonna go.
I know that's right.
Exit stage left or right.
Okay, we go back
I
to
don't know.
Carnival. Bye, Ninkasi.
So you guys ignore the scream. What does Hauld and Leo do?
That sounds severely concerning.
What is so concerning about it for you?
Well, maybe someone was murdered. Maybe someone's going to murder us. Maybe someone could need a very life or death assistance, or they will perish and cease to exist, and then that would be very sad. A lot of things could happen.
Oh, that seems like a lot of choices. But let's fight. I'm feeling good. I just talked to my
Oh.
friend, and I'm just feeling good about things right now.
Yeah, you woke up this morning and chose violence. I can get behind that.
I sure did. I'm going to tell you a little secret. Are you okay with that? Do you think we're ready?
I appreciate you asking. Yes, I'm okay with it. Are we ready? For the secret or for that?
A little bit of both. A little bit of give, a little bit of take.
There's another scream, and this one sounds a little different. It's also human, but if you could guess, the first one sounded feminine. This one sounds masculine.
Is it from the same direction?
Yes.
I'm slightly more concerned. Do you still want violence?
If you want violence, I'll do violence.
I didn't want the violence here. You wanted the violence.
I don't know if I'm in the mood for violence, but I'll definitely do violence, you know?
I think you just did a little backpedal, actually a lot of backpedal.
Let's just go do the violence. Let's just go do the violence.
Okay, I'm going to look and see, and I'll be kind of behind you, a few feet away. Maybe
Okay.
like 20. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds
Lead
like a
the
plan.
way.
That
Okay.
sounds like a plan.
Good plan. We're off to a great start. I can't see this can go wrong.
You both make your way, at least somewhat cautiously, maybe in terms of Leocyn, a little more cautiously towards the sound. Ninkasi, did you straight up ignore that as well?
Yes, I am on a mission. I have things to do and people to see, and honestly, I don't have time for that. I'm just gonna cover my ears and pretend I didn't hear that happening.
Okay.
There's guards. There's more people at the carnival. They can handle it.
Alrighty. Hauld and Leo, you make your way towards the sound of the noise. You can hear scuffling starting to pick up a little bit, and just like the sounds of like heavy breathing and people, like it sounds like people are trying to run from something. And as you alight upon a clearing, you see two people, look to be travelers of some kind, packs on their backs. They are kind of pale blue. You recognize both of them as water genasi, and they are currently being bared down upon by two very large and angry-looking gnolls. And they see you and go, "Please, help! Help!" And I'd like both of you to roll initiative.
Are you killing my parents?
You didn't come to help. I will tell you.
Oh no.
No, Oh boy.
Yeah, I'd like Hauld and Leo to roll initiative.
That's a 10.
I got a 19.
You're gonna make me
Lads.
become Batman. Kill my parents.
This is where my parents died.
Don't worry. We'll have everybody in initiative order anyways, and if by some chance you move into that space, you'll be in order. How about that?
Sounds good.
Oh, so you just want us to all roll in?
Yeah, please, just everybody roll initiative. We'll just make it easy that way. Give me one moment to get everything set up for that. Bet y'all weren't expecting a battle right away, were you?
Definitely not. I purposely chose a spell that was damn it bad for thematic purposes. Dad.
Oh no! Wait, am I still
No,
all
you're
funky?
good. You're good.
Okay.
I'm just calling you Dad.
Okay, good. Now I'm gonna get a little confused if.
Daddy. Wait, no.
No,
Dad,
no.
Oh.
Yeah. This is a family-friendly stream, Boop. Okay. Go ahead and run it. Let's see. I need to double check what everyone rolled really quickly. Actually, I'll just have everyone sound off. 20 to 15.
I got a 19.
19 for Boop. For Hauld. 15 through 10.
10 for Leo.
12 for Kaza.
12 for Kaza. 9 through 5.
I got a 7.
7 for Ninkasi. And that leaves Curly. Oh, you're muted.
Gosh, I will get used to this. I promise. I'm sorry. I can't count. I'm just really adorable. And I rolled a 19.
That's fair. That's a really
My
good
bad.
initiative roll. Okay,
It does the math for you.
so
No.
we're gonna kick things off. These gnolls with these big old spears are turning and wheeling to face you two as you've made your way into the clearing. They look to be about 40 or 50 feet away from you. A little hard to tell at this range, but the first one wheels and sees you in the front, Hauld, and instantly, it's like 3-4 days ago. More gnolls, great, more of this. It stamps its feet, lets out like a, and it throws its spear in your direction.
I go, fudge! But I didn't say fudge. Anyone? Anyone?
Hey,
Hey, okay.
does an 18 hit?
Me? Yeah, I believe it does.
Okay. It's going to be. I need to grab myself some dice. That is going to be 6 points of piercing damage
Okay.
as the spear
That's
hits you in the shoulder and you start free bleeding.
free. Wow, this bleeding is free.
It's free. It's
Love
so
that.
free.
$3.99
I
bleeding.
It's
I
ouch,
love this
but
free bleeding.
The spear is in you, not in it anymore. Curly. Oh, actually, do you react at all, Hauld? What do you do when you get hit by the spear?
I definitely is the spear inside. inside.
It is poking out of your shoulder. Yes.
Okay, so I turn back because I'm like immature and I think I'm really cool, and I take it out and I go "Ugh," and I fall down.
You fall down. Okay.
Yep, because
Um,
it was too much pain.
Meanwhile, back at as Curly and Kaza are walking back towards the carnival, you hear what sounds like roaring and shouting and a general commotion from back the way you came. It sounds like some stuff's going down.
Kaza.
Let's go.
All right. I jump off of Kaza's shoulder. I do a barrel roll, and I start running towards the direction of the screams.
Okay, you're fast, so I'm gonna say
Fast.
you're gonna get there in
Fast, boy.
one round.
That's fuck.
Kaza, you're gonna get there in 2 rounds.
Okay.
And those are gonna be your turns until you arrive on the scene. So, next up in the order,
I'm
it
on the
is
scene,
going
Captain.
to be. Sorry,
Nothing. Just ignore me.
Hauld, your turn.
Okay, so how far? You said 30 feet, 50 feet.
It was about 50 feet away as it threw the spear at you.
Okay.
The other one's advancing with the spear in its hand.
All right. Is there anywhere like to hide near me?
You can dip back into the forest if you want to try and hide, yeah. But I mean, they're like you pulled the spear out, but you're bleeding pretty profusely, and these things are good at scent, as you know. having
Yeah,
been kind of dunked on by them previously.
I look at Leo and I point to the thing, and I'm like, "Can you do something about this?"
Yeah.
I have a hole in my shoulder.
Yeah.
I would like some help. We chose violence. We knew this was happening. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay, and then I turn around and I throw the spear back.
You pick up the spear and hurl it back. Okay.
Yeah, to the guy with the spear.
Are you to the that has the spear? Okay. Go ahead and roll. I'm just gonna go ahead and say roll an attack with +4, so just a d20 +4.
A d20 plus 4. Is there a way to do that in?
You can do a self roll and just add 4 manually to the result. Like just tell, like you'll see it in the, we'll see it in the thing, and we'll just add 4 to whatever it is.
Okay, I didn't know that was a thing. That's cool.
It's pretty cool. It's D&D Beyond.
Where is
totally
the
not
self
sponsored
roll?
by them. Actually, yeah,
bottom
currently,
left.
you know. Oh, Kaza
Bottom
too.
left. Here we go, and then we'll add 4. Oh, that's cool technology.
Technology. 7. So the 4 was not included, so that is an 11. Unfortunately, it is not enough to hit, as the gnoll hefting the spear just and like blocks and parries it as it falls clattering to the ground.
Why did my body do that?
Is that your go, or would you like to do anything else?
And then I look back over to Leah and I'm like, I'm in a lot of pain. I just gave up. I'm thinking now. I just gave our only weapon up. I'm gonna need some help here, man.
You're doing great. Yep.
Let's sing the song. Sing the song. Let's sing the song together.
The other
let's-
gnoll starts
let's
to advance towards you two, but doesn't quite cover that distance. Kaza's already covered. Leo, it is your turn. Ninkasi, you will be next.
All right, Leo takes a moment. It's like, okay. Try to compose himself and kind of puts on a semi-brave face. Looks to the gnoll that there's one that's rushing towards Hauld.
Yeah, it's dripping. Drool from its fangs. It looks mad.
All right, Leo will point to him, all menacing-like, and say, "What do we have here, vicious gnoll? But you'll be the ones to pay the toll and cast vicious mockery."
Oh, what's
Let's
the save?
go.
Let's go, Khroen!
What is the save?
It's a DC 14 Wisdom save.
Excelente. Oh, holy crap. It's a nat 20.
That is a-okay.
It looks at you and cocks it. Does that weird, like, confused dog thing. You're not sure it understands common.
Okay. Gotta change the tactics up.
Just growl at it.
Is that your
Hold,
turn?
I tried. You might have to run a little bit before I can do something else. And then probably like back. Leo probably like went forward a little bit, try to like get in range, and then is like stumbling backwards.
Okay.
After, and then that's
Ninkasi,
Leo's go.
you are hearing, like, scuffles and shouts and something definitely not human snarling.
Okay. Like, could I tell if the screams were familiar at all by chance?
Make a wisdom check.
Familiarize themselves with screaming.
I don't know. I grew up with my parents. Not
a
natural
20?
20.
On a 20, it's been a while since you've spoken with your parents, and you are turning to, like, it's not my problem, I got stuff to do. You're like, wait a minute. When you hear the second scream, you're like, oh, that's Dad and Mom.
Mom? Dad? Fuck. Shit. Okay. I turn around and I start booking it towards the fight.
Okay.
And I pull out my mace.
All right. You will cover enough
So-
distance on this turn to get into the clearing. On your next turn, you'll be able to act in combat. Back
So
to the top of the order.
can I see them? Though?
You basically are just outside the range of the clearing. You're like maybe
Okay.
like 10 feet away. So
Okay.
on your next turn, you'll be able to see what's going on. It is the first gnoll's turn. As it has already thrown its spear, it is going to circle back, swoop to pick it up, and then start advancing on both you two. But it does not get in range to make an attack. So, Curly, you are going to make it into the clearing, and you see two water genasi, a little bit scraped up, but otherwise unhurt, kind of cowering as two gnolls holding big, really wicked-looking spears are advancing on what looks to be a human and a half-elf, one of whom is bleeding profusely from the shoulder.
Okay, I wanna do a sneak attack with my bow if possible, since I have the up and up on them.
You're if you haven't busted into the clearing, like I'm gonna have you roll like a quick dex save to see if like you basically stop and get hit in time.
Like if I, if I like
to
stop.
like react fast enough when you see the situation to get hit. Yeah, gotta put those brakes on.
Definitely not. Subtlety's definitely not Curly's strong suit, so I like this one.
Yeah, it's not showing for me.
It's all good. My rolling thing is very, very slow. It like does this whole animation that I'm gonna need to turn off.
We're building the suspense like a lot.
Yeah, we're building the suspense. Can she stop in time? Will it be a Tokyo drift or will it be a
land?
Tokyo? All
You
right, my dex save was 10.
You start to scoot your way forward, but unfortunately you burst out of the brushes, just at least your ears. So all of you just see little rabbit ears just like out of the brush, and the gnolls just like turn and look in your direction. You still have your action and bonus action if you'd like to attempt to do something.
Yeah, I think I want to throw a knife.
Okay.
I want to do that.
At one of the gnolls?
Yeah, at whatever gnoll is closest to the human that's bleeding.
Yeah, that would be the one that had well, you don't know this, that it just picked a spear back up. Go ahead and make a ranged attack with your knife.
All right, ranged attack with my knife. I have never used D&D Beyond, so I am just.
We're all learning
go.
today.
I know, right? All right, hold up.
School bus.
All right.
I haven't chipmunked in a while.
Rolling.
True.
The range.
Why'd you say it? Why'd you say it?
No, I'm jinxing it. I can't believe I rolled a nat 20 for these guys. Oh, I feel so bad.
I know, it's wild.
Do you really feel bad though? Do you really
A
feel
little
bad?
bit. I mean, I feel bad because I
Did
didn't
you
have,
just
I
lie
didn't
to
have
everybody?
to throw combat at you, but I did.
You
Yeah,
lied
you
to
just
us
decided
and
to kill my
you
parents.
can't believe it.
Yeah.
Hey, they're not dead.
They're not dead yet.
All right. I rolled a 9.
A 9 is unfortunately not going to do it, as it just kind of like ducks its head, and the knife goes and lands. You knew it was on target, but it dodges it as it embeds itself into a trunk of the tree on the other side. Fortunately, Curly, unless you've got a bonus action, that's it.
Okay, so I do have this ability, and it's like a dex save. And since I biffed the first one but didn't bring it up, is it too late? It's called Lucky Footwork.
Because
When
you
you
already
fail
did
a
another
dex save
action.
throw.
Because you already did it,
Yeah.
But the next time for sure.
So I just biff a dagger throw and scream in horror like, ah! Like further emphasizing that I have arrived.
So that you have revealed yourself to everybody. Hauld, you are up as this what looks like a humanoid rabbit just busts out of the brushes, throws a dagger, and that distracts the gnoll, and it lands and sinks into the tree on the other side. And both the Ganassi look around like, what is happening?
Yeah, so I'm kind of taking in my surroundings here. I'm seeing this rabbit screaming, throwing a dagger to what seems like impervious to projectile gnolls, while bleeding from my shoulder because I threw back a spear. And then I looked over to Leo, and I'm like, I don't think that song worked. There's a rabbit. I'm freaking out. And through like my anxiety, I kind of remember like the warmth that I felt earlier, and I focus. And I'm gonna use Fey Presence, which is once per short rest as an action, you can cause each creature in a 10-foot cube from you to make a Wisdom saving throw, DC 14, or become charmed or frightened by you until the end of your next turn.
You can absolutely target both these gnolls if you'd like.
I would like to do that. So Wisdom saving throw, DC 14.
Well, they both failed.
Hell yeah.
What do you do to try and scare these guys?
I'm actually going to charm them.
Oh, you're charming them. Okay.
Yeah.
So what do you say?
I go, hey, smellies, while doing like a double gunpoint, you know? Because I didn't know if that was, I don't know what just happened. And I go, hey, can you help this out and give the dagger back to this rabbit person?
Okay, so with this charm effect, do they do what you say?
I believe so. I believe I can get them to do an action.
Okay.
Right?
You look at both these gnolls who just kind of like advancing on you with spears, and they kind of look at each other. And one of them starts shuffling over and yoinks the dagger out of the tree and starts walking back towards Curly. That's his turn.
Yeah, and then I look over to the other one, and I'm like, hey, bud, as I kind of like catch on that this is working. These peeps are our friends too. But first, can you get something for my shoulder?
I need to take a look at this ability and see how long it lasts. Let me see
Until
this.
the end of my next turn.
Until the end of your next turn. Yeah, I will. It will act on that next turn. Kaza, you are booking it. Curly has outpaced you, and you are
Sounds about
not
right.
able to make it to the clearing just yet. You will be able to act on your next turn.
Do I not get to, so do I like? Am I not at the clearing? I just can't act yet, or like
You're not there
what's
yet.
the
You're
deal?
you're running
Okay.
and following Curly, but Curly's disappeared
Gotcha.
ahead of you, and you have one more round to go. Basically, next turn you'll make it
Okay.
into the clearing.
Okay.
Leo, you are up. Ninkasi, you are on deck, and you will be able to, like, with 10 feet of movement, get into the clearing.
All right, seeing that Hauld is kind of making some purchase in this fight, it's finally going our way. We'll regain some confidence. Say, all right, Hauld, don't fret. I can tell you're strong. You can't die now. You've still got so long. And bardic inspiration to Hauld.
Wow. Alrighty.
And then, for his action, we'll turn to the knoll. And we'll go again. We'll say, round one was poor, but this one will do the trick. I've got somewhere to go, so let's make this quick. And
I got
vicious mockery again.
I'm going to give him disadvantage
Let's
on the save because his
go.
riming is on
Are
point.
you Dr. Seuss?
Well, the good news is they're not very wise, so this one fails.
Nice.
Go ahead and roll your damage for Vicious Mockery.
All right, a little 1d4. That looks like it rolled a 3.
Yep, as this one
Nice.
roll perks its ears up, and then they just go back as it like, and you can tell he's been hit by a smooth criminal.
And it has disadvantage on the next attack roll it makes before the end of its next turn.
Excelente. Okay, is that going to be your go, Leo?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Okay, Ninkasi, I'm assuming you're going to use your movement to, at least part of your movement, to make it into the clearing.
Okay, first, before I do that, I'm basically gonna, like, pump myself up and, like, hit myself in the chest and cast Shield of Faith on myself, so, like, suddenly a shimmering field appears around me, and I look like I'm sparkling, and I run into the clearing. What do I see? Do I see it's my mom and dad?
Yeah, you see your mom and dad on kind of like on the ground, like up against a rock, looking very confused. Maybe a little bit like a few like cuts and bruises, but not super worse for the wear. You also see Curly, just like standing on the side, like screaming at a couple of gnolls who were advancing. One of whom looks like it's sort of like trying to hold its ears and seems to be in pain. And then a human and a half-elf. The half-elf is bleeding quite heavily, and the rest of you just see this very sparkly water genasi coming in, just busting in out of nowhere, and from behind all of you, or rather from the far end of the clearing, you hear your mother, Cordelia, just go, "Honey? Oh, thank goodness!"
Mom, Dad, hold on, I'll be right
Help
there.
them!
I'm coming to help.
We're fine. Help them.
Okay. So I walk up to whatever knoll is the closest to me, and I'm gonna hit it with my mace.
All right, go ahead and roll attack. This is the one that's got its ears back, and it's just like, whoa.
Okay.
And Leo just got good with the vicious mockery.
Regret it. 19.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll damage.
Okie dokie. The minimum damage, 3,
Unfortunate.
but it's something.
But yeah,
So,
still
yeah.
damage. Conk it in the head.
It is
Maybe not
still
as hard as you would have liked, but its nose just kind of like it sinks in a little bit as it like kind of howls out in pain. Is that your go?
That is it. So, yeah, I basically say to, like, everyone in the area, like, I kind of gesture at them, and I go, "That's my mom and dad. You're gonna save them, or you're gonna regret it." And then I end my turn.
The knoll that you have just attacked kind of shakes off a little bit, and it is still charmed by you, Hauld, but it has a larger priority in that it has been attacked now, and there's somebody right in front of it. It is going to attempt to jab you with this spear, Ninkasi.
Okay.
This is the one that I threw back.
Well, I have with my Shield of Faith that gave me +2 AC, so I have 16 AC.
Sweet. Yeah, it's going to try to jab you, and it does not roll high enough. It's a 10 to hit. As it shoves forward, and it just gets stopped by like this sparkly, invisible shield, and it just is like.
Nice try, loser.
Can't quite hit. Curly, you are up. Hold, you're on deck.
Okay. I have one more dagger, and actually the other one got thrown back to me, right?
It was walking to give it to you, and it still is doing that. It hasn't quite reached you yet.
Oh, it's walking towards
But
me.
it's like walking towards you, holding a dagger, but like it's holding it like by the blade, like it's gonna hand it
Okay.
back to you.
Okay. I am gonna try to kill it.
Okay.
I'm gonna go for its face. So I'm gonna take out, because I have 2 daggers, so I'm gonna take out my other dagger, and I'm gonna try to throw it into its face.
Okay. It is
what I wanna
approaching you. Go ahead and make this ranged attack with advantage, as it is walking straight towards you.
Okay. We roll, we lag, we build up the tension. I will turn off that animation as soon as I can figure it out.
That's all right. We figured
It
this out.
will. It makes like these like weird dice noises. It's like they're really weak though, and they're really long in between each other. Like it's the longest dice roll of your life.
Interesting. Well, the good news is you get to roll again, because the bad news is that didn't.
Oh, roll again.
Yeah, you have advantage on this one.
Come on, let's do it. I want to see blood.
Oh, the suspense.
Mama needs a new Knoll finger for her necklace.
Just like freeze frame, record scratch. Daggers like inches from the
You
Knoll's
might
face.
ask how I ended up here.
23
Oh
on a
my
nat
God.
20.
Oh shit!
Holy moly. Okay. Roll
Let's go.
roll double dice for damage. So, roll the damage dice twice, basically.
Okay, gotcha.
I'll see you next year.
Yeah, for real though. Don't worry, guys. I got this. I know how to do this. All right.
Is this already doubled, or is this,
This is doubled. Yes.
that's a double dice? Okay, sweet. Should mount it for damage calculation.
Stop moving dice.
It does seem to take a while for yours. I don't know
Oh,
what's
this
up
is-
with that.
Yeah, I'm so sorry about that. I can
That's
turn
okay.
off this animation, I'm sure.
No, you're good. Yeah, yeah, 6 damage as a palpable hit as it into the eye socket of one, and it just is like, ah! It's not
Nope.
having a great time.
Mom?
Okay.
Did
Can I
that-
snatch my dagger out of its hand
Yeah, you can absolutely.
and my
do it.
dagger out of its eye?
Yeah.
Can I just like stab the dagger and then grab the other one and then
Yeah.
just backflip back?
If you backflip,
Do a barrel roll.
you are giving it an opportunity attack if you backflip away.
No backflip then. Just grab and backwards walk.
That's still an attack of opportunity if you leave its range.
All right, I'm still in its range.
Okay, so you grab the 2 daggers. That's gonna be your go. Hauld, you have just seen this bunny person throw another dagger, impale it in the eye, and then run forward, grab both daggers out of its eye socket and its hand.
Yeah. Inspiring.
It also makes the
Bardic
cutest
inspired.
growling noise you've ever
Yeah.
heard in your life. You're like, oh, that is cute. It like gives you cute aggression. You're like, it thinks it's dangerous.
Small furry will stab you. That's
I would
that's curly.
normally think that. However, I have a hole in my shoulder from a spear I took out myself. I'm kind of just like recovering from everything. I just had some fairy stuff happen, and nothing is going well for me so far. Everyone seems to be impervious to damage other than me and my Knoll friend over here. So he's the only one I think that I've seen take serious
They've
damage.
both
so I'm gonna-
both Knolls have taken
Okay,
damage at this point.
So I'm gonna run up real fast, right? Because I don't have a weapon at the moment, I believe. And then...
I think you
I-
have something in your inventory.
Oh, I have a crossbow. Look at that. I'll just use that. I'll be like, oh, I have a crossbow, and I'll go back 5 more feet, and then shoot it from there.
Which one are you shooting?
The one that is that had just recently gotten attacked by a humanoid bunny.
Yeah, go ahead and roll them for that attack.
Definitely got that.
22. Ooh, yeah, that hits. Roll damage.
Take 4
4.
damage.
Yeah, palpable hit as it lands into the side. This thing cries out in pain again. It's not looking so great at the moment.
I kind of look over. I get some confidence. I look over to my friend Leo, and I go, "If you rhyme again, I'm gonna be your friend forever." I will write this down for all of history. At the battle of wherever we are, there will be 3 verses to commemorate whatever happens.
On that friendship bombshell, the knoll that had been damaged by both of you is going to lash out and try to bite at you, Curly. And it rolls a natural 19 for a total of 23.
You need new dice that don't roll so good.
Yeah,
Yeah.
what is going
Your dice
on?
are rolling really well
shuffle your
against us,
dice.
and it's not fair.
I'm so
Shuffle
sorry.
the dice.
Switch
yeah.
a set.
Yeah.
Put those ones in jail.
The good news is I rolled low on damage, so Curly, you only take 3 points of piercing damage as it manages to latch onto your shoulder, but pull back just in time, and the cuts are fairly superficial.
What?
Kaza, you are going to make it into the clearing if you keep moving. I'm assuming you do.
Yeah. Does he see the bite happen?
Yeah, just in time. You make it in, and you see this.
The knoll is dead.
Yeah,
The knoll's gonna die. Okay.
It's-
Kaz is just gonna like just
Nick Curly.
book it immediately towards this this knoll and just can I swing like I'd assume that I can swing above where Curly is
Yeah.
and then just
Curly's
like go
canonically
directly
very
for it.
short. I imagine that is very
Okay.
doable for
So
Kaza.
yeah, so just I'm going for the decapitation with the great axe.
Go ahead and roll.
Oh, that's a 9.
9 is not going to do it, I'm afraid.
Wait, inspiration.
You have inspiration. Go ahead and roll again.
Ooh.
Natural 20.
Oh, absolutely. So, go ahead and roll damage. Double those dice.
It wouldn't let me do it. It wouldn't let me like double it, so I just rolled it twice.
Okay, so
it's
the first. What was the first result?
It's one and a
six.
6 plus 3.
So that's a total of 10. Yeah.
10.
The bad news is you don't manage to decapitate it. The good news is
Sag.
you do lop an arm off, the one that was holding the
Oh.
spear. So what you all see is, as soon as this knoll bites down on this little rabbit person, a giant white, white-skinned with like black tattoo humanoid just bursts out screaming and carrying a big old battle axe and runs in, chopping the arm off of one of these gnolls. It's just like as it drops the spear because it doesn't have an arm now. It's looking messed up. And everyone is like, "What is happening?"
So much is going on.
Kaza, you know they always say they're more afraid of us than we are of them.
Leo, your turn.
This very
Ninkasi's
true.
on deck.
Leo? Okay. Leo, in response to Ninkasi, will turn to them and say, "There will be no regret. Your family shall be saved. Put them in their place. They're being quite misbehaved."
Oh
and
my
give
God.
bardic inspiration to Ninkasi.
Oh, this is
So
wonderful.
good.
And then we'll turn
Okay.
to...
Khroen gets regular inspiration as well. Take
yeah,
it.
this is fine.
Oh, whoops. Ignore that.
Okay, and then Leo will turn to... So one of those just got an arm lobbed off?
Yeah.
Right, okay, yeah, we'll turn to that one. And Leo's voice will get rather quiet to the rest of everybody else besides that Noak, so cast Dissonant Whispers and whisper, "It's just you and me, and you've made a mistake. It's funny how just a whisper can make you break."
Is that another save?
That is also DC 14 Wisdom save.
This is the greatest.
Does not succeed. Roll damage.
Ooh, let's go. That will be 11 psychic damage.
How would you like to kill this?
Damn.
Yay! First kill.
Nice. Okay, so as the whisper enters the mind of this gnoll. It's kind of, it maybe can't understand common, but understands the intention of trying to make it break, and it kind of mentally collapses. Hands go to clutch its ears, or I guess hand, because one of its arms lobbed off, so it can't cover both ears. It's like, it just kind of stumbles to its knees and slumps over. No longer.
Absolutely. And with that, as that gnoll falls to the ground, the other one is looking at you, Ninkasi, as it's engaged in combat with you, and sees its fellow fall, and it's gonna try and turn to run, but you still have a turn before it gets to go.
Yeah,
I'm
gonna beat it with my mace.
Okay, go ahead and roll.
Bardic Inspiration is adding a D6 to my D20 roll, right?
If you want to
double check.
choose it, yes.
Yeah, 1d6 at this level, yeah.
If you choose to use it, it's 1d6.
Yeah.
Can I choose to use it afterwards? I forget.
Afterwards, but
After
before I
another-
tell you if it hits. Yeah.
Okay, I'm gonna roll. Don't say anything yet. See how this rolls first.
13. Is that your final answer?
I don't remember what hits them. I'm gonna say. I'm gonna roll the D6 because I can't remember. Well, I don't want to metagame it, so I'm just gonna roll a D6.
This is why DMs
Roll.
hold their stat blocks.
Okay,
Well, the
so
good news
so
is
so 16 total to
does
hit.
So go ahead and
Okay.
roll your damage.
Okie dokie.
Oh.
Oh my god! I keep rolling like minimum
Oh,
damage
no.
3. God, I'm just like think.
Yeah, I mean, the good news
Bonk.
is it's not able to do anything to you, and rather than try to attack you, now that it's its turn, it takes the attack and is like, tries to turn around and run away, giving
Yeah,
you an
bite
attack of
me.
opportunity.
All right. Let's try this again.
Guiding bolt? Wait, what?
No, hold on. My D&D Beyond tab froze.
Oh,
I
no.
don't.
I'll let you roll
what?
fresh with your mace.
Okay.
Hopefully it fixes itself.
It's. My browser just stopped responding.
Worst
Khroen,
case scenario,
what are you doing?
you can roll a real die if you have one.
I do, but they're far behind me. Let me just reopen my character sheet real fast. That was weird. The
No
whole
worries.
tab
Everyone,
froze
please
for it.
stand by. We are experiencing technical.
There we go. Okay, we're good. We're
Plus
good.
one in chat. Plus one.
We're
Someone
good.
Chat, give,
Okay,
give the stream
19.
XP. Oh yeah, absolutely. Go
19.
ahead and roll damage on that
Okay.
case. 7.
7 damage.
A very palpable hit as it is limping now away. We are still in combat, but it has chosen to run. Curly, you are up. Hauld, you're after this. Do you want to pursue?
Can I do a ranged attack?
Yeah, you want to throw the
Arrow?
daggers again?
I think I'm gonna do bow and arrow.
Okay. Go ahead and roll for that.
Okay. Let's roll for the bow and arrow. Just kidding, I don't have it. Let's just do a dagger. It's fine.
Throwing knives, it's a thing.
I really just want to try this new and improved dice roll. It's still kind of slow.
That's
It's
okay.
okay, though.
It really
turn the
builds
shadows down.
suspense. You get a lot of slow-mo
Yeah.
action.
We get to
Yeah.
think about what it could be, you know?
Yeah, we get to count to 20.
This is
You
how
know?
neural
Like-
networks learn.
Yeah, of course, of course.
It's
just AI.
It's first
Machine learning.
stream jitters. You know, D&D Beyond's a little stage fright. Nervous. A dirty 20. Wow. Okay.
Ooh.
Roll damage on that one. You absolutely hit.
Alrighty, folks, let's fucking go. Oh, sorry, she says that out loud.
Can we get a poggers in the chat?
Can we get a pog in the chat, please? Also said that in character. Can we get a pog in the chat, please?
It's like Curly's
Breaking the third
catchphrase,
wall.
you know? 2 damage, yeah.
Yeah.
The dagger sticks into its thick matted fur and finds some purchase in there, and it just keeps going. It does seem to be kind of on its last legs. Do you have anything else, Curly?
I'm gonna make some gestures. I'm gonna gesture at him.
All right, I have to bleep that out for the VOD. Hauld, your turn. Kaza, you're on deck. Leo, you are in the hole.
Okay, since no one else has gotten impaled by anything, I'm getting a little upset. So I really, really want to get this guy down, and I've kind of learned that if you rhyme, things happen. So I stand up and I take my bow out and I go, "For you, this bow has an arrow," and then I shoot it.
Halfway there, halfway there.
Beautiful.
Oh, I love Halt already.
What is happening? Let's go, and then I do it.
Okay.
Oh, I should roll. That's
Please.
right. I'm like, do it for me. Okay, 1 second. Oops, that's just damage. Ignore that. Ignore that.
Oh,
Ignore that. That's a nat 1.
Oh, no. You are so busy trying to rhyme that you actually have trouble loading up the crossbow, and the arrow just goes and flies off.
And then I look over to Leo and I'm like, why didn't it work?
You got halfway there. We'll get the rest next time.
Yeah, and I take my bonus action to think of the rhyme.
All right, Kaza, you're up. Leo, you're next, and then Kaza.
Kaza's gonna pat Curly on the head and say, "You are ready for Apple game," and then go and just run at it and great exit in the back.
You were close enough to. Yeah, as it spent its entire turn running, so it used a dash action. So it's about 60 feet away from you right now.
Oh, can I not? Okay.
If you wanted to attempt to throw something at it,
I don't know if I can throw. Hold on. Do I have anything that I can throw?
Throw the battle axe.
I mean, you could throw the battle axe if you really want.
Oh no!
Can you take the dagger out of my hand? I have one dagger.
I have a hand axe. I can throw a hand axe,
Throw
right?
an axe. Absolutely.
Okay. Okay.
It's like that scene in Pirates of the Caribbean where he
Nat 20.
Just, oh my god! Yeah, it's exactly like that
Oh!
scene. You don't need to roll damage. How do you kill this gnoll?
Kaza's gonna kind of emulate very much so the way that Curly throws her daggers. Just kind of like aim and just right in the back of the head.
Yeah. And the gnoll just falls over, falls flat. And both gnolls are dead. Congratulations.
We must try with Kid and Apple back at Carnival.
From
Curly's
behind you
got
all.
both of her ears are just folded over, and she's just staring up at Kaza. You're so cool.
From behind you all, you just hear, okay, that was a lot more exciting than I expected today to be. And Cordelia is heading towards you, Ninkasi, as your father, Levin, is kind of getting up on his feet as well. It's just like, honey, is your job always this dangerous?
No, not at all. First of all, thank you both for coming to see me. I almost ignored this, but never mind about that. I'm glad you're both okay. Are either of you hurt? Did you get hurt at all? Did they stab you or anything?
No,
As she
we're
looks
fine.
at the...
They jumped us, and then these people all showed up. And does everyone work with you?
Well, these two do, and she points to Kaza and Curly. But these two I don't know. And oh, you have a nasty hole in your shoulder. Let me help you with that a little bit. So I'd like to walk over and use Cure Wounds on Hauld. So let me.
As you are patching Hauld up, and the rest of you are catching your breath.
6 healing.
Now,
Oh, that's perfect. That's exactly how much damage I took. Thank you.
Patching him up perfectly. As you all are catching your breath here, including Ninkasi's parents, in this clearing with 2 dead gnolls, one of which is missing an arm. That is a great place for us to take a break. We'll be back in 5 minutes. See you all then.